Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between.
So remember how we were talking about going and having a casino night, or kind of like a guy's night?
Yeah.
Going out to Windover.
Right.
Just playing some games. And there's this game that we always talk about playing because, well, let's be real, if you're not that dumb, it's pretty easy to make some money.
Yeah.
And this game is fantastic. It's like my favorite game to play at a casino.
What game is that?
Blackjack.
Mm.
But what we're talking about today is not blackjack. It's platinum jack, premium jack, the jack, JH, or Jack Herrera.
Yeah, Jack Herrera. Man, I gotta tell you, this is like gentleman's cannabis. And why I say that is from the taste. Now, at first, I had this like weird thing. I almost felt like I was smoking like some old guy's cologne. Like that old English leather smell or brute. Like, I don't know why that came to my mind. Probably from my childhood. My dad used to wear that shit. And I'm like, no. I mean, it was strong then. It's so strong that it's still in my brain.
It's like the Dracar Noir.
No, those are like premium, bro. Compared to this shit. This is something that would be probably like right by the cash register as you're getting out there. Which, you know, if you know anything about the product world, that's like the place to be. But I don't know, if you're cologne right by there, nobody's going, I need a lighter, some gum, some horrible cologne. Yeah, this right here.
Yeah, and a Snickers bar.
But with Jack Herrera, it has got these notes of cloves and cinnamon almost.
Piney herbal.
Yeah.
It's a really, like you said, like a gentleman's. I imagine like a really good scotch.
Yeah, I picture like an older guy who is like sitting in some Italian leather chair, and it's kind of like he's got like books and crap behind him. That's what I'm thinking. Like it's a conversational cannabis strain. And speaking of strains, what type of strain is this? What's the lineage?
It's a sativa dominant strain. The most prevalent terpene in Jack Herrera is actually terpinolene. So, really just smooth strain to smoke, though. This comes from the Netherlands. Some say it was made in like the 80s or the 90s. So it's made by the cannabis activist and the author of The Emperor Wears No Clothes, Sensi Seeds. So they took one of my favorite strains, Northern Lights, number 5, and Shiva Skunk to craft this like amazing, euphoric, cerebral experience.
Yeah, just it feels like, you know, if you were going to smoke a strain or puff on a strain even from a pen, this is how I've enjoyed Jack Herrera. So I'm looking forward to being able to try the actual, you know, flower. But it definitely made me feel like very, not introspective, but just explorative.
Yeah.
If that's even a word.
Very energetic, like focused, though. I felt pretty uplifted.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it was great to have like a conversation on it. It was good to I mean, this isn't even a strain where I'm like, you know, almost all strains I'm like, yeah, I could chill and like probably play some video games. But this one is like, I'm either wanting to listen to a book, read a book. I felt very like I mean, being a sativa strain, it's good on that, but the thought process, I wouldn't say it's up there as far as being able to figure things out. But that's for me.
Yeah,
I liked it, but I didn't feel like it was like overly that. It's just a very, I don't know, like accepting high. I don't even understand what that means, right? Being elevated enough to be able to be open to have discussions, more of listening. It doesn't necessarily make you quiet, but it will allow you to just not blurt out things. We know those people, right? They just can't wait to talk to you. I'm like that sometimes, so I know.
It's really nice. With the experience, it was pretty quick onset, straight to my head.
Yeah.
Right in my head. But I felt really energized with it too. Maybe, at least at the beginning.
No, I agree because I've had this at nighttime and either listening or reading a book, and it didn't want to put me down as far as sleepy, but energetic enough to be able to stay awake. It didn't feel like that. You know how people get that paranoia feel if they smoke way too much
Mm-hmm.
sativa. Um, I didn't get that, and I mean, this is something where you can get lost in puffing on a pen if you have like a distillate or a live rosin. Yeah, you're definitely gonna just keep puff and puff and puff because that's one of the things I dislike about carts, but I love about carts is that they feel like Skittles. Like just keep going, don't even realize
Yeah,
it,
but
right?
then it just becomes so habitual.
No, exactly.
That's why I have to like leave a pen in the other room so I'm not actually just carrying it around with me all the time because that will go in like a day, 2 days because I'll just keep puffing on it.
Yeah, just having this steady high all day long. But no, Jack Herrera is. I don't know. I keep thinking about it. It's the gentleman's cannabis.
Well, yeah, because it after that first initial bit of that energetic, focused, it settles down more into your body. So it's a pretty balanced high, but it's really good, like quite conversational.
You know, this would be a really great one. So, say you are a company, any kind of company, whether you're the marketing department, you are the, I'm always going to go to marketing first, but you're some type of department that needs new solutions to come up. This is a great group discussion strain. I've heard of a lot of companies that will allow their people to be able to use cannabis and psilocybin in the business setting. So Cali, I saw you in Cali,
That
but
makes sense. They're pretty progressive. That's why there's
exactly.
actual microdosing schedules for psilocybin that are from California.
I think this would be a great way for a business. Say you've got your executive team and they're having a real difficult time being able to overcome ego because ego by far is the one thing that will hold everybody back.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Herrera is the thinking person's strain, I would say, where you want to have a discussion with people. And the reason why I say that is it's not super cottonmouthy, at least in my experience, slight, but not enough. There are those strains, especially in the sativa realm, that you better have either gum in your mouth or something that's going to help activate that saliva because you're going to get real bad cotton mouth, and it is not to be talking around. Like
Yeah.
like honey wines for me, I get real bad cotton mouth with it.
Oh, I remember that. We had it
When we went to
right
the
before that
conference,
networking one. Then it was
yeah,
just like, I gotta drink like a gallon of water.
you feel like you had sand in your mouth. But with Jack Herrera, this, like I said, it is a group conversation to be had, right? You're in college and you're being able to try and like come up with some great idea for a project that you have to be able to fulfill with other people. If they're all down, bring them over. If you can get the flour, have a bowl.
Right?
Do that with
Much
everybody.
better way.
And then just bring things in, music, visuals, stuff like that. That's what works for me is being able to have that.
Well,
Um,
you think about it, and even how many brainstorm sessions that happen at businesses are still
right.
full of like stress and shit that they're not even fully open with their ideas. They're not 100% transparent, and things don't go as smooth. But if you introduce Jack Herrera, like, this is commonly used for stress, anxiety, depression, and migraines. You bring that into your boardroom with like creativity and some focus and a quite conversational strain, you're going to walk out of that with a lot better idea than you had before.
One of my sons is extremely aggressive when he's upset, and I was an aggressive person all growing up. So I know that if I'm in a heated argument, this is another one of those. Like if you're getting in a heated argument and if you can get away, this is a great thing to puff on for a little bit and then go back into that conversation because it really does help quiet your ego exceptionally well. I believe that cannabis is the great equalizer of conversation because it takes everybody down to around about the same level. Openness, willingness to hear other people out, still having an opinion. So, I mean, this would be great for your politicos, right? I mean, if we could just hit a fogger in a room, like in the Senate or Congress, that'd be badass. And we'd have like, I don't know, man. I don't want to do this filibuster. Let's just kick it, man. Let's get some. let's get some Grubhub or DoorDash
Yeah, right.
and let's
Did the
bring some
munchies
Wendy's and
delivered?
shit.
Oh yeah.
Like
But
that
then
would get a
maybe
lot
stuff
more
would
done.
actually get talked about then instead of just the back and forth headbutting.
There'd be way less. There'd
Yeah.
be way less laws. There'd be way less everything. And that's why I'm saying like this is the great equalizer of the conversation. So businesses, boardrooms, and families, like I talk about my son, I had to go hit that a couple times, came back and I'm like, hey, I understand you're upset. Let's just talk this out. It really quiets that beast in you that comes out when you get angry that has to be right
Oh
instead
yeah.
of being able to see like what needs to be just relaxed. That's why like our friend Miguel, right? He loves Jack because he is such an energetic person that it helps him bring
Mm-hmm.
him down
Yeah.
so he's not as energetic but he can still be fun.
And it helps them focus.
Oh,
'Cause,
big
yeah.
time, big time. So yeah, I mean Jack Herrera. So um, you got any good reviews that you've been able to find on Jack?
This one says, man, I can say a lot of amazing things about this strain. I first discovered this strain back in 2010 and knew it was love at first sight. I suffer from a lot of anxiety and depression, which can cause fatigue and other things to occur. This strain takes away any anxiety I've ever had and, in fact, cured it. Not only is this strain amazing for my anxiety, but it helps with fatigue and focus a ton. Whenever I smoke this strain, I feel super alert, focused, and ready to tackle the day. I'm currently medicating with some classic Jack from the Source Cannabis Co. out here in California. This strain hits all the boxes: euphoric, clear headed, no haziness, feels like I'm ready to blast off. I would say it's ultimately a great sativa hybrid. Thank the gods for Jack Herrera.
That that pretty much just summed up everything that we were talking about. That's
Right?
awesome.
But it is, like we said, it's a fantastic strain. And even with, like you said, being the ego squasher, I can't tell you how many times that I've been incredibly frustrated with my girlfriend, my kids, family member, friend, something, and go out and partake in cannabis. I can set my ego aside and look at it and go, all right, don't be a dumbass. Just like have a conversation
Yeah.
and set that ego aside and go, okay, what was it they're trying to say or what was it that's going on? Maybe I just didn't communicate my needs or concerns very well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking because we've smoked this, but we haven't had it in edibles. I would highly recommend that if you're a person that low dose or even micro doses throughout the day of like 2 to 5 milligrams of THC edibles. If you could make some craft edibles, whether it's gummies, chocolates, however you make your homemade edibles, if you've had that anxiety, social anxiety too, because that's usually brought on by fears that you have within yourself, not necessarily like what actually is going to happen. But this would be a great one for an all day, um, consistent, elevated feeling that you want.
Yeah,
Almost like an antidepressant that people
remove
would
that
take.
anxiety.
Yeah, all day long, be open to discussions. Everybody's like, wow, Brandon's like so easy to talk to. I mean, like he's like one of the coolest people. He's never negative. And whenever he says I got a shitty idea, he just goes, "Well, I mean, that's a great idea, but why don't we put a pin in it? Let's when we come back to that." And they're just like, he said that, and I know he was actually saying that my idea was shit, but thank you for doing it so nicely. Literally, this is a good overall, good mental health strain.
I agree. Who couldn't use a little Jack Herrera right now?
And if we're talking about food with this one, this is kind of a whatever goes. This is a fast food one. Um, for me, you can do that one. You could enjoy a really good steak dinner. So this is a kind of an in the middle of the road for me because you can really go with the sweets or with the savory.
What's a fast food steak? That sounds gross.
It's called Denny's, and if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you've been drinking all night, this is a great
They
place to
serve
go.
steak?
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Oh, gross.
And you know the best way to set up a steak, right? Ketchup. So that's how you have it, bro. You have that. You have their crappy coffee. You have their maybe eggs. Doesn't matter, man. Like if you were going to the club or something like that, like
But I don't really drink or to go to clubs, so that sounds
that was back in the
horrible.
day, man. That was a long ass time ago for me, but still, yeah. You can pretty much eat anything. This is going to be, if you have the goat stomach, you can eat anything. Metal, maybe some,
treated lumber.
Yeah, treated lumber, plastic. I mean, it is for me.
Whatever.
I could eat whatever on this. It's not. I mean, there's certain strains where I'm really attracted to sweet things or savory things. Usually sweet, but this one for me, that's where I'd be at.
Trying to think of my like shitty junk food.
Chinese food.
Go to.
Chinese, like that Chinese food that used to be down on Center Street. You know what I'm talking about? This is the Rice King.
Oh yeah.
Back before.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was owned by an actual like Vietnamese guy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's owned by Hispanic people, and that's exactly who should be making Chinese food all the time, right? But I mean, they used to have the best noodles. Best noodles.
I love good noodles.
Noodles.
Yeah.
Probably making you guys hungry.
I know. But I think my shitty like fast food thing is unfortunately Wendy's because it's really close and yeah.
I want Wendy's now.
Sometimes I just crave like French fries.
Yeah.
And a Frosty because I'm a little bit high and want to dip them in there. Yeah. I don't know.
That sounds good.
I know, right?
That sounds dope, man. All right. Yeah. So today, thank you guys so much for being able to join us. Hope you got something out of it. If you have questions or suggestions, you guys have been amazing, sending us all sorts of suggestions of episodes that we can do.
Yeah, and shoot them over to hosts@cannabisschool.us. We love to hear from you guys.
And pay attention to next week and have yourself a wonderful weekend.